Hey guys, welcome to Book of Catherine. So I'm just wearing this hat in order to set this video aside from what I'm about to tape in the background. Let's talk a little bit about Brett Kavanaugh now that it looks like maybe they'll do the vote tomorrow. It's late in the evening on Friday night, October 5th. So maybe we will find out if they actually do the vote. Let's talk about why they actually put this off, since everyone's praising Lindsey Graham and all these lovely things and thinking that the GOP has been so wonderful and so brave and so patient to have, put up with this for so long from the Democrats. And aren't they so lovely, even though they've been delaying the vote? Let's see, they ended the FBI investigation how long ago? And then they put off the vote till the end of this week. And like I said, 22 days. 22 days this has been going on. They put off the testimony for 10 days, even though usually a judge says, you want to testify here. This is your date. You come in, and then if they decide to turn it down, that's it. So why have they been delaying? The two parties together choosing to delay. I'll answer that question for you. So if you remember last year for the Supreme Court, the docket had some massive, huge cases. They were cases including the unions. Don't forget the cases that were on the Supreme Court docket. Cases that involved every one of the Supreme Court cases on the docket. They involve massive money, changes in hands of money. Now, they know that even if Brett Kavanaugh doesn't get in, they know the next person down the line. They know no matter who it is, it can be 25 in, it will be a conservative person. So they know the next vote is going to be conservative. The name of the game now is delaying the vote, because whatever the next decision will be, they pretty much know how the decision will go now. Which means whatever is on the docket, they know what's on the docket, they know how the decision's going to go, and it will cost these big, huge corporations, which have been getting away with massive fraud across America, with massive donation fraud and everything. So go ahead and look into the cases that are on the docket for this year, and you will find out why the GOP and the DNC are delaying together. That's the name of the game, is delay. Oh, let's see. Let's come up with another excuse. Oh, the FBI closed the case. We'll do it at the end of this week. Even though they announced the president, you saw how quickly a coalition can get together and vote in less than 12 hours. It's their job. It's their job to get together and vote. If they want to, they can do it. They can be there. It's their job. They can vote like that. They're able to do it. So why is it they're like, oh, we can't vote until a week later? Oh, she says she wants to testify. Oh, well, let's keep, delaying. Oh, she can't come here by train. Let's go out there. Let's debate. Let's do it. Let's parlay back and forth. You guys, you have to understand how politics works. And it has been you have to understand at this point in time, the GOP and the DNC, they both work for the same people. They take lobbying money from the exact same people. That is why the needle has not, it stayed left for so long in politics. So what if they have gotten in a majority of conservative voters? Has policy okay, Donald Trump got into office. Go ahead and look at the vote for the last 2 years. Everything that Donald Trump has signed as an executive order, he has tossed down to them. It's everything conservatives have been asking for the last who knows how many years. It's everything on the conservative ticket. It's everything Reagan ever proposed. He's tossed it down to the Republicans, and the Republicans have voted no on every single thing. They even voted no on Obamacare. Even Obamacare Light, Light 2, Light 3, Light 4, they said no on all of it. On all of it. They have gone left, and they've come up with every beautiful excuse under the sun. And so now And the reason they're doing that is because their donors are all the same, and their donors, we know from all of the research that we've done and the amazing resources that we now have with people like Ani Cyrus and people like China Uncensored, where we actually get real news for once. We now know that all of their backers, like just look at the piece on Dianne Feinstein, you guys. The piece on Dianne Feinstein alone. Here, I'll link you the video right here. I mean, we know these guys are just heavily, and Lindsey Graham, he's funded by Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett funds only liberals except for Lindsey Graham. You know why Lindsey Graham did that amazing speech? It cost him nothing. It was a great delay tactic to make the GOP look great. It cost him nothing. Watch what he's been doing with the Justice Department. Watch what he's done with the FBI. He's done nothing but delay. Ask Trey Gowdy if he helped him out. He didn't help Trey Gowdy out. Like, when it comes to Congress and what he's done, he's actually performed in action as a Democrat. He's made Warren Buffett money and made him happy. He's kept Warren Buffett's taxes nice and low. You know, he confirmed all the judges. He's voted no when he was supposed to vote no. So what did it cost him to make that speech except for save his butt? He was not going to make it in the voting ring. So now it comes up. Brett Kavanaugh was going to be confirmed no matter what. A conservative judge was going to be put in no matter what. So they basically used this time to take every single GOP member who was in danger of losing their seat, and they were like, all right, we need to delay more. Here, you go make a speech. Now you go make a speech. You go make the hero speech. You go make the hero speech. And each one of them got to save their political careers. But it's not a vote. Each one of them, not a vote, not a single vote that matters. Like, it didn't cost them a thing to make those speeches. Like, I don't understand why we're applauding things that cost them not a thing. Where were they on immigration? Where were they when they were, like, Lindsey Graham is the head of the Justice Board. What's he done there when it comes to, like, releasing FBI documents? He's refused. He's dragged his feet. He will not help. And all that's just washed away because he suddenly gives a great speech? Like, we just forget all of that? Like, in the positions of leadership that he's in? So I would encourage you to actually go and look at the Supreme Court docket and look at how much we've lost this year, because that's what they've been doing, is delaying and delaying and delaying, so that the Supreme Court, which was supposed to start on October 1st, because they don't have someone sitting, the entire Supreme Court is not meeting. Like, the entire Supreme Court is on hold. Like, the donors are just like, yay, they're not meeting. Our entire Supreme Court system is on hold. And that is just the way the corporate giants and the foreign governments love it, because they know what's going to happen. You guys are forgetting that no matter what, a Supreme Court justice is going to come down. Maybe you guys go ahead and think, oh, maybe the Democrats will come in and it won't get confirmed and everything like that. Go ahead and see how Fahrenheit 11/1 did, or whatever, how Michael Moore's movie did. And you tell me, how likely it is that the Democrats are going to sweep in and do a blue wave. Yeah, we need to get out there because we need way more Republicans in office. You know why we need way more Republicans in office? Because the Republicans that are actually in office are not actually doing their job. They're actually just shills for the Democrats. So we need way more in there so that they can actually do their jobs. But if you think it's going to be a blue wave, you're wrong. We just have a lot of reds that are in there that are actually blue. So we need as many people voting as possible to increase that margin. Because right now they have 51. Do you know what happened when the Democrats had a 51 margin? That's when the government expanded by 3 times its size. Every time December rolled around, they used that 51 margin and they passed a crap ton. That's when we ballooned to just boo. Look at the Decembers in the Obama years when they had all 3. All 3 systems of government, they just raw. And we became massive. And have the Republicans ever decided to shrink it when they had the 51 majority? No. They've let us sit there. And our taxes have, despite the fact that our Social Security coming out of our checks is greater than our taxes and we can't get it back. And the Republicans can change that just by voting yes. And they have refused to do it, even though they're supposedly conservative. Some coalition. And so for the same donors, there they are, just keep the Supreme Court from meeting. Our entire Supreme Court. And notice Fox News isn't talking about that. Not a word. Not a word on the fact that our entire Supreme Court isn't meeting. Every time they delay, our entire Supreme Court isn't meeting. So that's what's going on behind the scenes while you guys applaud Lindsey Graham and all that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so great that he gets to rage. He could have raged on day one. Every time they do an amazing quote or an amazing speech or Grassley goes off about the press, think about every one of those things could have been said on day one. It could have been said 3 weeks ago. They're just spreading their sound bites out because every time they do it, it gets the press all up in arms and it gets you guys distracted from the fact that they're still not voting in the Supreme Court. It gives them another sound bite for the GOP to support them and their constituents to think they're doing a good job. But just ask yourself, are they saying something that couldn't have been said 3 weeks ago? Is it something new? Or is it something just generic that could have been said? Was it true 3 weeks ago? Every single thing they're screaming about was true 3 weeks ago, 22 days ago. It's all just for the same donors, the CCP and Sharia, the Iranian government. And maybe you think that sounds like conspiracy theory, except that I'm listening to real news. I'm just so grateful because I have things like China Uncensored and Ani Cyrus, who I know they try to censor out, but I'm lucky enough that I have their YouTube channels. And every day I get amazing, real, valid news about things going on in the South China Sea, things going on in concentration camps, things going on in the Iranian government, things about, I know that the reason you see H&M and Versace and Elle Magazine and lip balm companies, the reason they're all doing hijab lines is because the Iranian government in Saudi Arabia suddenly have feminists in their midst that are protesting in the public square every day, saying they don't want to wear hijabs by law anymore. And those governments are so freaked out that they started Hijab Day to get the rest of the world on their side. They want those women to turn around. And so now they are peppering the world with World Hijab Day to distract from the fact that so that when they read about these protests, women will think, why would they be protesting? Isn't it beautiful? See, I know that stuff because I see real news. It's not a conspiracy theory. So maybe look up the Supreme Court docket and find out what they don't want to take place and who's going to lose money on it. And that's who's paying Chuck Grassley to put off the vote. That is who paying Lindsey Graham to put on great speeches. Because if you watch that speech again, you'll see that he was reading off of notes, just like Madonna did when she did her great speech for the Women's March. Both were reading off a page of white paper. Manufactured outrage for the masses. I'm Book of Catherine. Support this channel down below because unlike them, I don't have sponsors. I am free. Peace out.